Hello and welcome to Cast of Thrones, the Game of Thrones podcast. This week, Storm of Swords Book Club. We're doing Dany 4 to Arya 9. I am Michael Thrifty Nerd Tomorrow, and with me, Nick Bristow.
Michael White Russian tomorrow.
No.
It's so true.
Got
Wow.
you again.
Damn, it's true.
Jennifer Cheek.
Hey guys, I'm here.
And Tim Lanning.
Hey everybody, it's great to be here.
Your
Hey
voice.
Tim. Hey Jennifer. Hey Nick.
Yeah.
Hey Michael.
we're
Hey
here
Nick.
together again.
Hey Jennifer.
Time
It's
for
been so long.
talking about
Yeah,
Storm of Swords.
It's this off season. It's long and dark and dreary.
It's so
and
sad.
Makes me a little sad.
The winter's dark and full of terrors.
It's true.
That's true.
Most of the terror is not being able to just talk about Game of Thrones every livelong day. So
Yeah, like I got reprimanded at work because I was constantly making Game of Thrones references and like I was like emailing them to the clients. It was apparently people thought it was weird, so
did
stop doing that.
did you call people Blackfire pretenders at all, or
You know I did.
duh? I know you.
They were.
did.
I mean, they were Blackfire pretenders. What was I supposed to do?
Exactly.
Just like
Yeah,
ignore
what
it? No way.
It'd be
do
immoral
it.
not to call him that.
Exactly.
Man.
man.
And you guys.
I want to think that's a joke, but I don't think it is.
Oh, I'm like super fired.
Blackfired.
Blackfire.
Your joke just killed me because it was so bad.
If you've never listened to this show, why are you listening to this one first?
Yeah.
What a weird place to start.
What? How did you find this?
Anyways, we're Cast of Thrones. We go through either the television program Game of Thrones or a particular book and the Song of Ice and Fire.
Yeah.
Or maybe we have a fun interview with a cast member, or one time we read Yahoo Answers about Game of Thrones. It was great.
I don't
That was a
remember
good
that at all.
episode. You don't remember
That
that?
was a good episode.
That was a fun episode.
I must have
Oh,
blocked
yeah.
it from my brain.
Did we do Sleep, Marry, Kill this time?
Yeah.
I
We did it in
we've
the-
done it at least twice.
In the donor episode.
That's
Oh,
like,
the
my-
donor
Oh,
zoner.
I mean,
donor zoner.
Sleep, Marry, Kill is my favorite thing to do all the time anyway, so doing it for Game of Thrones is especially delightful.
Wait,
Mhm.
like in RL, you like to murder?
I like
sleep,
to I like to sleep with people, I like to marry them, I like to kill them.
Well, you married me, so that makes a lot more sense.
Yeah,
about
we never. As for the rules of the game, we do not have sex with each other. Just married.
keeping it. We're of course part of the Geekly Inc. network, which
Well-
brings you all the hottest new jams. Sometimes we cover NBA scores. Mostly we cover
That
NBA.
seems not true. NBA, like
Guys,
a
how
sport.
about those dunks the other night?
Hey, he's
Hot
not talking
dunks.
about Dunk and Egg though.
I
Oh,
think clarify
Oh,
WNBA.
yeah.
Only
Cheryl
WNBA.
Swoops. I don't know, guys. I don't know.
man,
about
how about the
sports.
Sparks, huh?
Guys,
them-
Right?
Duncan is actually mentioned in this section of Game of Thrones.
Really?
Wow.
I completely just went over that because I don't remember that.
Who else do you think is the Lord of Dragonflies?
I don't know who.
Oh my goodness! Wait, was that mentioned?
Yeah.
Huh.
When they get to Old Stones,
There's so
it's
many
either this one or
details.
next one. We get confused. We
See-
record two back to back.
Now here's the thing. This is why you need us. Is because the Song of Ice and Fire is a very detailed book. And this is our second go through reading this, and I feel like we try to be very informed about these things and try to explain stuff that's going on. Sometimes even we miss things. It was really entertaining going back to read these particular sections again because there's so much foreshadowing for things that are gonna happen, and I'm like, how did I not notice any of this first time I read it? It's so blatant.
It's so obvious.
But I guess it's not so obvious unless you already know what's happening.
Yeah.
And another thing, we don't spoil in this show, but we are talking about this with season 3 in mind. So we will
Right.
talk about things that happened in season 3, but we're not going to spoil anything from book 4 or 5.
But we will technically spoil things that may happen in or in season 4, right?
Well, because if it's in the book, then we'll talk.
we're just
going
gonna talk about what happens in
We've
the book.
got. That's not gonna happen this week, so don't be nervous about that because
Yeah.
we don't quite get there yet.
But
Is
we're
this
talking
the,
about the
like-
book and then season 3 and back, and that's it.
Is this the obligatory every 6 months we need to tell people what's going on section?
Yeah,
Is that
I
what
think
we're doing?
I think
You
that's
got to.
fair, just in case
You got
somebody
to.
got confused and forgot
But
something.
it's only helpful if they catch this episode and not the previous
Yeah.
one or the next one.
Hey,
Nick, I'm just trying to make sure we catch all the little fishies. I'm picking up them starfish
Minnows.
and I'm throwing them back in the water.
Oh man, Tim, you're
I
never
walk
gonna
over
be
it.
able to finish.
They're not
it.
ready
But I
yet.
saved
They're not
that
ready to
one.
come out.
Oh.
That's true.
So do we want to talk about Daenerys?
Let's jump in there. Daenerys, everyone's favorite character.
Mm-hmm.
Danny 4, you guys.
This chapter was a lot of things happen in this chapter.
Do you think sometimes Dany's chapters are boring because she doesn't have to deal with tons of rain?
I do. I like the struggle of rain in Westeros.
Yeah, she just doesn't
So
have that
foreboding. Yeah, that doesn't
enemy
happen.
of rain.
This chapter was super long, you guys.
It was the longest, which I realized as I went to write the show notes for the chapter, and I'm like, Jesus shit, I
Whoa.
can't do this. Sorry.
Language.
Yeah,
The
this
rest
is
of
a
them
clean
went by super
podcast. We don't curse ever.
kidding.
No, it's not. It's explicit.
That's a lie.
Every episode is explicit.
This is like really explicit.
We're no more dirty than the show of Game of Thrones. So
That's a
That's
good
right. You can't make a show about Game of Thrones without it being explicit.
But you don't you don't see us putting our butts out on the cam. So
that's in the donor zoner.
Whoa, hold on.
Hold up.
put your butt
no
away.
no one told me.
Thrifty, put that butt away.
Thrifty.
Get out of here.
It's too
Yeah, I
tempting.
mean- If you're in the chat and you've donated to the donor zoner, go to twitch.com/geeklydonorzoner and you can see the butt cams
butt cam. All
Yeah,
Butt
it's
cam.
just all
24/7 butt
just
cam.
4 cams just on
of the butts.
on butts.
Guys, that's a horrific
Sometimes
future you're
we-
describing.
I don't like it. I
It's
think-
just like assless chaps behind us, and
I'm
then
pretty
like
sure
every so
that was-
often you see a hand come down and scratch. It's
Oh.
really great.
I'm pretty sure
Yeah,
that was a
I'll-
question
well-
on Comedy Bang Bang one time about whether you'd rather do one thing or have a butt cam. I
Guys,
think that was the
guys, Dany has moved on from her sack of Astapor. She's like, I'm done with there. I did plenty of murder. And
Yeah.
she's like, hey, you know what else is next? Yunkai.
She's
Yeah.
like rolling through the next city that's got slaves.
So I guess the idea now is she wants to straight up just free all the slaves. She's Abraham
Like every
Lincolning it.
slave.
She is, going on like the Underground Railroad right now. She is just freeing everyone on the way.
Except for she's not even hiding it at all. She's just like, yeah, I'm about to
She's-
free all the
She's
slaves.
overground railroad.
Here me and my Unsullied, and then
She's
these
on the-
like tens of thousands of refugees I brought with me.
She's on the fuck shit up railroad
Yeah.
right now.
And you know what? She's done pretty
Indeed.
good job of that so far because she's took all the Unsullied from Astapor
Mhm.
and burned that city down.
Yeah.
Well, she didn't burn it down. She burned parts of it.
But just the important parts.
And the important thing is that she left behind a council to be in charge of Astapor, consisting of 3 freed slaves. It was a priest and who else? I had it written down somewhere.
Oh, no.
I think it's
A healer, a scholar, and a priest.
rabbi and
Oh no, and a Baptist preacher.
Keep going.
they all walked into a bar.
They said,
Yes. So Danny's like, okay, I've set him up. It's not like, a monarchy. There's 3 people that are in charge of things, and they're smart, and they're free slaves, and everything's cool.
everything's great.
What could
Left
go
him there.
wrong?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Nothing
Nothing at
can go
all.
wrong.
And she's now on her way towards Yunkai. And when she gets to Yunkai, it's completely surrounded by defenders.
Yeah.
There's sellsword companies,
There's
and there's like slave regiments. And so she won't be able to just take this city unawares as she did with Astapor.
They knew because they heard what
Right.
happened to Astapor, so they're ready. She does have a lot more people and better trained people than they do, but it would
Can
not
we-
be an easy win.
Let's break down the math. I see you got all the numbers.
I did.
there.
I thought that was important to know the numbers.
That's what everyone's
Well, yeah.
favorite part is.
Well,
To
I
paint
think
a
it's interesting
picture.
to know. Yeah. So there's 5,000 Yunkish, and then there's 2 different sellsword companies, and they each have about 500. So that's not too many, like 6,000.
So it's 6,000 total if my math's right.
Yeah, I was about to be afraid that I was gonna do math wrong and be embarrassed of myself.
Yeah.
But
And
Dany
so- and then-
has 8,000 Unsullied plus her 600 Unsullied that are not really trained yet.
Right.
So that's more, and they're better trained.
The issue is that Yunkai has actual horsemen,
Yes.
which Dany has, 20?
yeah, she
30?
does not
Something
really
like
have a lot
that.
of horses.
Which she just uses for scouting because that's all her Dothraki.
Yeah, because like all the people that she picked up from Astapor are like refugees, and they all they do is eat a lot of food.
And I think the Unsullied, though, they probably got trained at horse at some point.
They just don't have them. That's
Yeah,
the
they don't
problem.
have horses, but I bet they could do it.
All that to say that.
I bet they could do it better being eunuchs, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't have
Yeah,
to worry
what-
about getting they balls crushed.
You don't want to hurt their bulbs.
Their balls and
Yeah.
their peener.
But I question that, to be honest, because I think they're mostly trained at being the dopest assest of foot soldiers.
Yeah. All that to say is that Dany could win with what she's got, but a lot of people would die. and
Right.
It would not
Right,
Be
Yeah,
good.
she's for sure gonna win, and she's just gonna lose a lot of people.
And she doesn't want to do that. She wants to find
Especially,
a way.
this has nothing to do
it.
with Westeros. I don't know if you guys know this. Yunkai is not in Westeros.
Super not in Westeros. She's just got. She's just really intent on freeing slaves right now.
It's kind of in my. I don't like this break in Dany's storyline because instead of doing what makes sense, she could take the boats that Illyrio sent her right now. She has her army.
Right.
She doesn't have a huge
Right.
army, but I mean, she's doing the quote unquote right thing. But
She gets caught up in the moment, I guess.
But doesn't
Yeah.
that make her a more convincing and interesting character? Because, like, yes, like, if she was, like, full-on, like, Mary Sue, like, you should do the smart thing and go to Westeros. But she doesn't. Like, she does the thing that feels right to her, but it's kind of dumb. She's, like, 14, dudes.
Well, that's the thing. It's like it's frustrating reading her chapters because she's being dumb.
yeah.
Like she should just be. She has a lot of men. She could head over to Westeros and just start wrecking shit.
But
That's
she
what
doesn't.
she'd be doing.
right, especially because Illyrio could probably buy her more mercenaries. So
Yeah.
you know, and who knows what else they got cooking? Because Illyrio met with Varys in the very first book, and they were rapping about, let's see how we can make this stuff crazy. And as far as I'm concerned, we're in the third book. So
We are. We are in the third book.
yeah,
Aren't we in the third book?
So Dany wants to meet with the leaders of the 3 different encampments to try to be like, hey, let's not fight. Let's work something out.
yes,
So she first meets with the leaders of the Storm Crows. So this is 3 dudes. They are the leaders together. I guess their names aren't that important. Prindle Nagezin
for those
Salar the
keeping track
Bald.
at home,
and Dario Naharis.
it's my bro.
Yeah, that's an important name.
Right.
One thing, Tim and I were chatting about this earlier. In the show, they kind of combined the Storm Crows and Second Sons into one company, which is fine because, why? It's not really important. You don't really need 2 of them. But that was confusing me, what was going on with that. So, in the book, there's 2 separate companies. The other sellsword company is led by the Titan's Bastard, who's an asshole.
I hate him.
Right, he's a guy who in the show was just a real fucker.
Yeah, the one that was making weird tongue motions at everyone and
And,
slap Miss Sandy in
smelling
the ass.
people's vaginas
Yeah,
and stuff.
he's really terrible.
Yeah, don't do that.
He bad. So she meets with Storm Crows and they're like, yeah, thanks but no thanks. We're not gonna break anything.
Yeah, because everyone always says throughout Game of Thrones that sellswords don't really have honor, but they have to have a modicum of it in
Or
order.
no one would use them.
Exactly, to be able to stay with and get contracts.
Exactly.
So they're like, nah, we're good. But that Dario Naharis with his blue hair, his golden
He's
whatevers,
flamboyant.
he looks sassy. So
He has a gold tooth. He's got little gold tips on his mustachios. Blue hairs. He looks weird. But he is pretty nice and he nods to Dany as he leaves. They have a moment. Eye
What's up,
contact.
what's up?
A very small moment, actually.
Yeah, it's not really very much at all. Are we supposed
I-
to understand that he's a young man, or
Nah,
they
I
make
think he
any
is-
mention of how old he is?
I don't think he's like an old man.
But I didn't
they
get
don't
the.
ma-
We can all agree that he does not look like Dario Naharis from the show.
No.
well,
No,
good
no.
thing
Right.
they recast him. So
It's
But the
kinda
thing is,
really
the
weird.
moment is so small. He's just like, hey, this is a hot queen, and that's it. And that kind of sets up future events in this chapter, and it's really not a lot to go on.
Yeah. Is this the part where he talks about there's nothing better than having sex with a woman who wants to have sex with you and killing a man who wants to kill you? Or is
does
that-
he even talk during the first
may
meeting?
not say
I think he
anything.
just kind of winks and ooh, what up?
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
remember.
Man, God,
him
what
so
if...
Well, I mean-
much.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I think isn't it the next chapter? But he's like, oh, I haven't had a day unless I, have
Yes.
sex with somebody,
Yes.
kill somebody, and do something else.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's actually
Or
this
their thing
whole
was-
entire chapter.
It's the
Okay.
longest chapter
It's
in the world.
they instead of going back and forth between other characters, let's get all this Dany stuff out of the
Get
way.
it done. She's
Yeah.
doing something different. So they say no. Next people, she meets with the Titan's Bastard, who's the head of Second Sons, and he is the worst. Just like
Yeah.
the show, he's a big ol' asshole, and he's like, oh, didn't I fuck you at a pleasure house somewhere? And she's like,
And she's like, yeah, but the thing is, he's a bad dude, and he's actually making his sellsword company even worse. So they're like, you don't even want this fool. Get out of
He's
here.
bad.
But what Dany does, I was talking mad yay before her just earlier, but for what she does here, she does it great. She basically causes some confusion and scare tactics at the sellswords people, and then she gives the Titans bastards a hell amount of alcohol.
Yeah, he's like, give me some. Well, she says she give him wine. He's like, give me a lot of wine. She's like, cool. Here's a wagon full of wine for you and your dudes. Have fun.
Yeah, it's super smart. Like, everybody she meets with, she's like, all right, you got 3 days. And the next person, she's like, all right, you got 2 days. And the next person, and like, no, everybody is like confused about her plans, and they think she's so naive, so they believe her.
Yeah, and she does that awesome thing. It's like, I'm just a young girl, not schooled in the ways of war. But it seems like,
but kid, like, think about you're a sellsword dude, and you walk in,
she's
and
like
there's
holding
a 14...
a sword by the blade. She's like, I'm fighting. Look at me.
Is this how a story works? But imagine that you're a sellsword guy, and you walk in, and there's a 14-year-old girl.
Every day I imagine this. Go ahead.
If only I was a sellsword.
Wait, go back and do it slower.
This is a freshman in high school girl, so like, ew, are you guys being gross right now?
No.
Yeah, totally.
It's Westeros, so it's different.
No.
Yeah, it's different. They
have
years
dragons.
are longer.
She has dragons.
Wait, what? Are you saying... What?
Because they don't have winter for like
so
3 years.
It's cool to lust after a 14-year-old
No,
because they have dragons?
It's like if someone in America was born on leap year, they're only 4 years old. Daenerys is 45.
Yeah, she is really old. She's, that's why she can't have any more kids.
Oh, because she's actually in menopause.
Right.
Because every
She's
winter...
having her change of life.
Okay.
Right, because winter's like 3 years, summer's like 4 years. So yeah, Dany's 45. Maester Aemon is 25,000.
Yeah, like depending on like how long the winters are, like some kids in Westeros don't get their driver's license until like they're about to die. It's ridiculous.
Yeah,
you're never gonna get it.
Yeah.
So finally,
you mean their donkey driving license?
Oh, donkeys.
I'm so
Remember
sorry.
donkeys?
Guys, I'm just gonna mute myself.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna mute myself.
Oh, I already.
Throw your. Yeah, we
don't.
did it. You're done. You're done.
We gotta get through this. Let's go.
Finally, Dany meets with the Yunkish emissary, and he brings like 50 dudes with him because is afraid of her, rightly so. And she's like, "Hey, I will not murder all of you if you let your slaves free in 3 days." And he's like, "Fuck off!
Yeah,
I'm not doing that. It's crazy."
She probably would let him go too. Actually,
totally.
Yeah, but he's never gonna they're never gonna do that because that's their livelihood is slaves.
It's like if they walked into Bank of America and like, all right, I won't destroy you, but you gotta get rid of your money.
And they're like, what? No.
I don't know if that is the best analogy, but it's close. And this is the first time she states out loud, here's what I want to do and why I'm not sailing towards Westeros. And the Yunkish are like, wait a second, you're claiming to be roughly a Dothraki horde, and yet you're not accepting our money, because as we all remember from season 1 and book 1, is that this area they just usually just like, oh, here comes a Dothraki, pay them off, they'll move on. Away.
Oh yeah, because that's right, because they're like, here's 50,000 marks, which I'm assuming are like a dragon. I don't know.
I think they're like monies.
There's some sort of a money. It's a lot of money. It's a pretty good amount of money.
I'm almost positive it's exactly the same as a dragon.
That's what I'm assuming. I don't know why I latched on to that.
But instead of having a dragon on there, it has a picture of Mark, my neighbor.
Right.
Here's this dude.
From college.
It's Mark Piper.
And I'm sure people have written extensive essays on the different economic situations in different cities. Like, a mark is 1.4 dragons.
Listen, if someone probably has, and the sad thing is,
on the price of gold at the time.
I would look at it.
Man,
they offer to give her a lot of money if she'll just like leave, get out of the way, and that's not what she wants. She's not interested in the money.
Right.
She already has money and stuff because she already, sacked Astapor. She doesn't care about that.
So she does what any good.
I mean, money's good when you're trying to, take over a country.
She does what any good 14-year-old girl does in this situation, and she sticks her dragon on one of them just to startle him and burn his tow car.
You are being rude. Drogon, flame him.
Dracarys.
And she does.
They're like small cats right now.
Yeah.
And
I think they're dog sized.
Angry
like
fireball
I think they're big ass dog size.
Dogs. okay, but they're not very big though.
But still, well, maybe like with the wings and everything, but their actual bodies probably
The
are
important
pretty
thing
small.
is they shoot fire from their mouth.
They shoot fire from their mouth.
They catch the dude's robes on fire, and he's like, "Yeah, you said it would be safe here." And she's like, "You're fine. Don't be a baby. You're not dead. Just your clothes. Who cares?"
Yeah, so that was just
sends them away.
Again, shake them up and be like, "Listen, I'm crazy."
Yeah, I do like she treats them all very differently, though.
Mm-hmm. So that guy goes away, and Dany basically, she's like, "All right, they're gone. Prepare for the attack. We're attacking at midnight."
And
Fuck these dudes.
And even her men are like, or Jorah and whatever are like, but you told them 2 days. What's going
like,
on? That's
yeah,
not right.
lied.
hey, that's lying. How are you gonna free the slaves?
And
if
she's like,
you
you know what
lie?
else, Jorah? I love you. I love you a lot. Let's go have sex.
Just kidding. No, I don't.
Oh, that was the lie too, but you didn't get it because you're too stupid.
Oh, Jorah.
You hairy stinky bear.
Oh, he's such a bear.
So as they're chilling, waiting, and then at around midnight, who shows up by Mr. Dario Naharis himself?
Yeah.
In a big sack.
Yeah, he's got some
Big-
presents with him.
Sack.
Like Santa.
Oh, I hope so. And he apparently snuck into the camp, and just the best timing on his end, because if he would have waited any longer, he would be dead. But he killed the other leaders of the Storm Crows, just like in the show. And he's like, "Hey, you're
I'm brushing
pretty."
these heads.
Yeah,
Look at these
you're
heads.
so pretty. I got you these severed heads because I love you so much. And Dany's like, I love severed heads.
I
I'm so
made
glad
an
you brought
episode
me
out of
these.
them for you.
And
And then the dragons just start eating them.
like,
It's really gross. I forgot about that. They're just like, awesome, it's dinner time.
yeah, that's
Oh,
good. Just
look.
feed your
Yes.
human to your dragon so
Head.
they get a taste.
They're just yumming.
Just
They're just
yumming
yumming
on
on his heads.
some brains and face skin.
It'd be gross.
Jorah is super not cool with Dario Naharis though. He's like, listen, Daenerys, he's no good for you.
Get out of here.
He's gonna betray you. And she's like, no. Shut up, Jorah.
This is when she finally is like, Jorah, we're not like a couple. Like, it's never gonna happen.
She likes him, but she doesn't like him.
Yeah, man, she's totes
Yeah.
BFFs, but she's never gonna make love upon him. So
All
get
she
outta
does,
here.
she like takes his paper, circles no, and hands it right back.
Right.
Walks away, and Jorah tries 2 tears. But I mean, like, yeah, Dany, even though she did have weird tingles when he kissed her that time, she's like, no, I can't. Like, we can't do
That
this.
was the mustache.
It probably was. That's
Anytime you kiss a mustachioed man.
Hey,
you're gonna
tell me all about
why do
it.
you think Tim has a mustache right now? Even though like we established earlier, because I chose Mary for Tim, we do not have
We've
sex
never
with each other.
kissed.
Never.
We've never kissed. And they go ahead and trust Dany and Dario, and they attack at night. Dario, I think, is gonna let them in to one side. Yada,
Well,
yada,
yeah, he's
yada.
gonna come in and attack from the rear.
She has a pretty good plan. She's
Yeah.
like splitting up her forces. Some are attacking head on, some are attacking from the side.
Yes.
You know,
So they can't like.
plans and shit.
So
And
they're
the
gonna be
Stormcrow
too divided.
takes the other guys in the rear.
Haha.
Yeah.
Right, and
Gets him.
so the battle turns out to be going on as Dany is just like bored and agitated. So she talks to old Barry, of
Who? Arson?
Arston,
It's Whitebeard.
Whitebeard. Sorry, we've seen the show. And old Arston, and basically like, you just tell me of my brother. You mentioned him before, and basically goes on to describe old emo Rhaegar, which I love to hear about constantly, who just loves to play his harp.
He just wants to go hang out by himself in some ruins and make up sad songs on his harp.
Right.
What's so weird about that?
Because this
I really enjoyed this little bit.
It was. I always loved getting the backstory.
Yeah.
I think HBO was throwing around the idea of actually doing another spin-off of Game of Thrones that was based on the Targaryens.
I would watch the shit out of that.
Yeah.
I would
personally.
too, because we'd have to do podcasts about it, but
So
that
you
would be great.
You would watch it.
We could do podcasts and that'd be fun. But apparently this is maybe one of they mentioned Summer Hall again, which is great. And
At this point, though, we don't know what happened at Summer Hall. We just
Exactly.
know that something bad happened there, and Rhaegar was really scarred by whatever went down there.
yeah, and because Rhaegar's a big deal as he tries to kind of make himself the best that he can be.
Yeah.
And he entered the tournaments dutifully, and he learned how to be a good swordsman because he thought that's what he was supposed to do.
And he was a good swordsman, but his heart wasn't in it. That wasn't really what he cared about.
Right, because he was like a bookish dude.
Yeah,
he was totally like a bookish dude. Like he didn't really care about that stuff.
Yeah.
And
he
then,
just
like,
read about fighting.
Then like one day he like read something and he was like, "Fuck!" and then started
I gotta
drinking.
learn to use his lance and sword.
Exactly.
So he did.
So they're chatting, and then all of a sudden there's a commotion, and Jorah shows up and he's like, "What up?"
We totally won. It's cool. And Dany only lost like 12 people.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
It's amazing.
It's like maybe 12.
Well, partially because the second sons were all drunk as hell,
Yep.
and they couldn't even. They just like gave up. Like,
Yeah,
okay, we're
but
drunk.
the bad news is the Titan's bastard scurried off.
Yeah, he's gone.
Oh boy.
Where'd he go? And he's
That's
a real
bad
asshole.
because he's gonna go to the next town and be like, don't trust them. They'll just kill you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See how they killed us? It's bad. But they have their bros searching for him, so maybe they'll find him and bring him on back and give him a stern warning about not running from battle again.
But Dany does wait around outside of the gates of the city because the gates of the city are not open. She just beat all the people that were on the outside. And on the third day, they do open the gates and all the slaves come out.
Yes.
And this is actually the very end of season 3. Like
Yeah,
this scene.
so thanks for listening to the book club.
That's it.
Yeah.
No, but even in the... I don't want to talk too much more about this scene because I feel like it's made people upset when I've talked about it. But the way it was in the book was much better. It was infinitely better because all she does is like walk through. Everyone's like, Misa, mother, blah, and touched her. And that was it. Done.
Right.
They're not trying to touch her. This makes sense. That's all I'm going to say about it.
And it was pretty racist.
And
well, also, they note in the books, though, that the slaves and Yunkai are from all over the place.
But they only mention brown people in the book too.
But they're talking about them all speaking different languages. Like it's a mix of people.
Yeah, it's a weird situation, and it's.
Well, don't they talk about training bed slaves in Yunkai
Oh yeah.
too? So I think that aren't the.
There's got to be hella Lysini there.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Aren't the Lysini like super pale?
Yep.
That's like their deal. So there's like a mix of people, and they're all saying. The important thing is they see Dany as their savior, and they see her as a mother figure.
Yeah,
she is their savior.
Yeah, and she is.
Literally saved them.
There's a very good reason for that.
Yeah, she literally saved them. So that was very, very touching scene in the book, and done really well.
Yeah.
Unlike in the show.
Arya 8.
Yeah, Arya. She's back at that creepy hill again.
Old High Heart.
This is where that scary
Old High
little
Heart.
witch
Here we
thing
go
was.
again.
It's all running together in my head. At what point are we? Where is she right now? Like, she's with the Brotherhood?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, she's with the Brotherhood. They'd already been through there and they came back.
Now, is this Sorry, is this the first time she meets Thoros?
What? No.
No, he's been around, but she's just like talking to him more.
Remember, like
Yeah,
a million out. He's been with Thoros a million times because Barrett died.
Because she didn't like hook up with him at first like she did in the show. In the show, it's like immediately there's Thoros, but in the book,
she gets grabbed by other people.
And other people take her to Barrick and Thoros.
Yeah, she meets Thoros.
Oh, right, because he does the whole fire sword thing.
Exactly.
Like on last episode. Got it.
Right.
But yeah, so now she gets his backstory.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and it's a little different than the way the show chose to do it. But I think the show's version is much more interesting. Thoros is just kind of like a dude that was supposed to spread the word, but he didn't really believe in the Red God. And he was just kind of one of the Red God priests because he was, on down the road from being the number one son.
Right. It's kind of like that thing, like in, a long time ago. It's like if you had your first son would inherit your land, second son would be like a judge or something, third son would be like a priest.
He's
like,
kind of.
We don't have any like land for you or anything, so you got to go do something else.
Mm-hmm.
He's kind of like. Before like the Red God started giving powers and stuff, he was kind of like like a Christian priest is now, just running around having sex with women, getting drunk and stuff.
He's having a great time.
Oh God, don't he was joking. Don't email. We were joking. A small joke.
Send your emails to Nick.
Don't yell at us.
He was just making a small little joke. We like to have fun here. We love everyone.
Christian priests have sex with women.
I thought it was interesting that he did mention that that he did have some visions and stuff like that before he became like super priest.
Yeah.
Because that's definitely I feel like it wasn't like that in the show at all.
Right. It was kind of that whole thing of like, I'm lying about being able to do this constantly. Versus, I get little flickers, but I'm not super into it.
Right.
And he was a good warrior because he helped. He was one of the first people that ran through, I believe, on Balin Greyjoy's rebellion.
Oh yeah.
When
he was like in the melees and stuff all the time in King's Landing.
Right. And when
he
was
got sent
the
there.
Batman.
Right. Yeah. He got sent to King's Landing because he was a big old drunk, and they're like, "Well, maybe you can make friends with the king there, because he also is a big old drunk. So go convert that king."
And that didn't work.
It did not work.
I don't know if you guys remember.
Robert
died.
Yeah, he died, and he was not an aficionado of the Red Priest.
He didn't care for religion so much.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Thoros is a really interesting character because I think anyone that has any affiliation with lore is cool. Because it's this whole thing of, yes, there are several gods mentioned within Game of Thrones, but not all of them do stuff. Like, we have magic, we have dragons, but, the people that claim to do miracles or great works from their god, only the Red Priests, and to a certain extent, the old gods do stuff. So it's kind of
and maybe the Drowned God.
And maybe the Drowned God.
Maybe, but
definitely
like
not the Seven. I think we can all
Seven.
agree the Seven are the shittiest. They don't do anything at all.
Yeah.
Is the Red God really a god because they're not believing in him on faith? You know what I mean, man?
Whoa, I never thought of it that way. Because he's
just doing it, man. It's not even like it's a god. It's
Whoa.
just like,
I imagine all three of you having Keanu Reeves' face right now. The what?
What's happening?
I feel like I'm Jennifer Cheek at Hebrews.
Yeah.
In Harvard.
Hebrew.
Is that what you studied?
Hebrew?
Game of Thrones.
Hebrew?
Yeah.
I studied Game of Thrones in grad school. Yeah.
But after they're chatting for a while, the ghost of High Heart shows up again. That little chevalier lady.
The witch lady.
Yeah.
Why is she called the ghost of High Heart? That seems mean. She probably just has gray hair.
I think that she's like 1,000 years old.
She's 1,000 years old. She has long
in
gray
Game
hair.
of Thrones time, so that's like 1,000,000 in our time.
She's 1,000 years old, but she's randy as hell, you guys.
Yeah, she wants to get it.
She's like, Lem, come here, you're gonna taste like lemons.
He's
like, stop it, no. And Lem's a bad guy. He's a grunch.
Yeah, he's a grumpy dude.
He was not very much of a gentleman towards her. But this is I don't know what Ghost of High Heart is, but she's one of the handful of these sort of magical old ladies that are peppered around.
If you live long enough in Game of Thrones, you become magical. Like,
yes,
let's get that out of the way.
Yeah. I mean, that's obvious. So they meet up with her typically in order to be like, hey, what's going on? She's like their news.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So she goes through and drops some couple hot news facts.
Knowledge bombs.
Turns out Balin Greyjoy is dead.
And dies off the air.
Off the air. So
did that happen in the show?
Nope.
Yeah,
he's quite alive. So that's a show spoiler.
Spoiler.
He's gonna die.
But they might not ever kill him.
Yeah, who knows?
I would be displeased if that happens. I would not like
Yeah,
that.
no, there's some important shit that needs to happen. So.
Yeah, there's some. Oh, I won't say anything right now, but if. Never mind. I'm just gonna shut my mouth.
No spoilers, guys. We don't spoil things. And that's, of course, going to lead the Iron Man into kind of bickering amongst each other. She also lets them know that Hoster Tully's dead, but we already knew that. So
how does she know all this stuff?
She's a magic.
That's how she magic.
No, I think she has dreams. These are her dreams, right?
Yes.
Man,
she talks about that, yeah.
If you had to give her dreams a color,
I would say green if I had to.
Yeah?
Oh.
If I had to.
I would say more like a turquoise.
A topaz.
Like a turquoise green.
And then she goes through and gives another more vague ones. This will be one of the first episodes that we have that have a spoiler section and at the end, and because there's a lot of interesting stuff.
We need to talk about.
Yeah. So she says she sees a goat sitting alone and fevered in the Hall of Kings as a great dog descends on him. We learn what that is, I believe, next episode. And then she says, a wolf howling in grief in the rain, a clangor of horns and drums, and the sad sound of a little bell. We learn about that in the next episode also. This one, we don't. A maid at a feast with purple serpents in her hair. That same maid is seen slaying a giant in a castle built of snow. That is where the spoilers are, where we won't say what those are about. But the first one is, well,
I mean, we'll say them in the spoiler section.
Yeah, we'll talk about it. We'll come back.
We should save all that stuff.
Because I think, well, I'll hush my mouth. We'll talk about it.
Well, I mean, yeah, everything that happens is like, for the second one, is like just book stuff.
Yeah.
But
it's book stuff, but if they're reading along.
Right. And she looks up and she sees Arya just staring at her, and she's like, ah!
Yeah, she's like, she's like, Arya, comes close so I can smell you, and she's like, you smell like death.
Yeah, she says, you're a blood child.
I hate
you. Blood child. That's like both like that's like the most metal thing to call someone.
Gosh.
Yeah. The only thing I can think of is like, well, one, she's killed people, and two, she's like, she has the coin and the Valor Morghulis and all that.
Valor Morghulis.
This scene in the show, they did this with Melisandre essentially.
Yeah.
Remember when Melisandre like saw Arya and got all freaked out, like,
what is this?
What's going on with her? Yeah, it's like they did a similar thing.
Also, wonderful scene from the show.
Oh yeah, it was great.
I love how she says that this is like just as bad, if not worse, of the feelings that she got of Summerhall, which we just heard about.
What's going on with
what's all this then?
Summerhall, I guess. It sounds nice, right?
I love it.
Summer Hall.
Hall. It's
not called Winter Hall.
Not called Winter Hall at all. It's...
And I think the words are because it talks about Arya. She bids Arya to leave. She gorged on grief at Summerhall. The Woods Witch. She gorged on grief.
Yeah, I don't know what that means.
What does it mean?
I kind of thought it thinks kind of like Obi-Wan Kenobi.
But it talks about Rhaegar being born in grief at Summerhall. So like the vocabulary is similar, and I wonder why it specifically.
I have no idea.
Does that? I'm assuming it's on purpose, but I don't know why.
Summerhall,
man.
One of the great mysteries in the world.
Nobody knows anything about that.
But fortunately, the Tom 07 strings plays a little bit of a jingle.
And it's weird. She kind of just like goes into a trance and just like, I don't know. I mean, she gets something more out of it than just listening to a song.
Well, she also drank a whole skin of wine. So.
Yeah,
she feels great.
And she said, I don't know if they say what the song's called, but she said this is the song for my Ginny.
Yeah, I'm assuming it's that song that Ginny of
for her Genie
Oldstones, because that's like a song that's talked about.
Because Ginny of Oldstones is connected to Summerhall.
Huh. Yeah. Guys, I want to talk. Let us talk more of this in the spoiler section.
Right.
So I guess we also find out that Kat and Edmure are going to the twins for a wedding.
Oh my god!
Should be festive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's like you guys are going the wrong way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think at this point Arya doesn't know about Rob breaking his vows either.
Oh yeah.
Oopsies. So they leave, and they're still like a crazy. Like guys, there's a lot of rain. I know it says it's a storm of swords, but there's literally a storm.
A storm of
rain.
And swords.
So some people are getting like sick, and they're all dreary. So they decide to go to this old town, and as they're chilling, like on their way there, Arya meets a fellow by the name of Edric, and they're chatting, they're rapping, and turns out that Edric is actually Edric Dane of House Dane, who you might remember of from the Sword of the Morning fame.
He's the Lord of Starfall.
He's the Lord of Starfall.
These are the most like fantasy-ass sounding names of all time.
And he claims to be Jon Snow's milk brother.
Which means that they both drank milk from the same boobs.
They both had the same bub.
What was it like? His milk mother was
Willa.
Was John's mom? Is that what he's claiming?
Yeah, that's what he's saying.
Yeah. Because I don't know how all that works.
Well, Wetner's like I don't know specifically in Westeros, but I know in in medieval times, rich ladies would be like, I'm not doing this breastfeeding thing, and we get a poor lady to be the wet nurse. But it also could be like, maybe the mom didn't have enough milk or whatever, and so she did that.
Right. So,
yeah, that too.
So Arya gets super pissed because like, what? No, stop saying this.
Like,
to
why
me.
would you say that? My dad would never do that.
Which is weird because
she knows obviously that Jon is a bastard. So
yeah,
why is she mad about it?
Yeah, and I think it's the thing where she's a little sick, she's tired, she misses her family, everyone's dying, and
she's grumpy.
She's grump, and this guy's saying things she just doesn't want to hear, because he even says that Ashara Dane was really close to Ned, and there's this whole sort of background to that where it's like, ooh, as we know that like Catelyn told people never to mention Ashara Dane in Winterfell. Like, it got brought up once, and it's like, don't ever say her name.
Man, Catelyn will hold a damn grudge forever. Hold grudges.
Literally forever.
Forever. But apparently, Ashara Dane, it seems like what happened was that she may have had some sort of a romance or a crush or something on Eddard, and later on, she committed suicide.
Right. She
threw
threw herself off a tower. She's like, deuces. And this is why some people think Ashara Dane is Jon Snow's mother. Because
like it was like
I don't think that's it. I think she might have killed herself for another reason. Like maybe I don't know. Maybe he wouldn't sleep with her, and that's why she did that.
Damn. I think the accepted answer is because her brother died during the war. Ned.
But there's lots of murmurings about why she did what she did.
Right. So, and because Arya's so angry and she talks to Harwin again, and he's like, hey, they weren't like married or whatever. They were just kind of whatever. So it's not a
Ned
big
didn't even
deal.
know your mom yet.
Yeah,
And your mom was supposed to marry his brother. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, shut up, Jesus. And then she's like, no, you shut up. And then she runs away and gets grabbed by the Hound.
Yeah, well, she's like trying to run out. And she's trying to flee.
She's constantly trying to run away from like everyone all the time.
If she would have just stayed put, I don't know, her situation would probably be better.
Maybe not.
I don't remember what happened to them, so.
Well, she runs off and gets grabbed by the Hound.
Which is no good for her.
Yeah.
Great
well,
for the Hound.
doesn't she get like punched in the face by the Hound?
Probably.
He grabs her at this point.
And knocked out
Yeah,
or something?
'cause
Or did he just grab her?
He grabs her, and then she's like, chill, man, I would go back, Christ. And then his vice-like grip pulled her in. And
He's
like,
so strong.
Yeah. Then...
And that's what happens to Arya in that chapter.
Yep.
Do you know who doesn't have a vice-like grip?
Oh, nailed it.
Bring
in.
in Jamie.
Jamie.
Oh,
That's a good
Jamie.
No, you don't have a hand.
Is that... Yeah, it's because he doesn't have a hand.
how Jamie, guys.
He can get a robot hand, and then he'd have like super strong grip.
You could just actually have a
He
vice.
could actually have a vice.
For
It's
hand.
like...
Yeah, like this is the worst robot hand ever. Also, what's a robot?
What is a robot?
I know this is a bad one. They left Lord Heron's Hall, and they're on their way back to Lord King's Landing.
He's in Qyburn's with
Going
him
with
to make sure
them.
that he doesn't die of an infection.
Yeah, plus
Absolutely.
he kind of hopes that Tywin will be like, hey, man, you can be a maester again.
Yeah. That whole
Thanks
like
for helping my son not die.
yeah.
Right, and Jamie's being escorted with a lot of other people, but when he talks to Qyburn, he's like, yo, you believe in ghosts and shit? And
I forgot about that.
and Qyburn's like, well, maybe.
Qyburn.
No one really liked me except for the one maester who's
Marwyn.
constantly mentioned
What the fuck is up with this guy?
as like a badass wizard.
Is this the scene where he's like, well, you know how like you leave your farts behind and you can smell them? Like when you die, you must leave something else, ghost farts behind.
Yeah, and then
Is that what we're talking about?
no one liked my ghost fart theory except for Marwyn.
And they're like, what is that horrible smell? Somebody must have died here. I'm like, no, that was me. Sorry.
And then he's
like
like,
something died inside of me in my stomach.
it's like, Marwyn, that's such a crazy thing for you to agree with me with. Okay, bye. You go teach Meiji who's gonna try. Who's gonna
Marwyn-
go kill Khal Drogo.
Is Marwyn the only maester in Old Town?
He's the magic maester.
He is the magic
Marwyn
maester.
the magic maester. He trained the Meiji from season 1 that poison Drogo. And I think he's
just up to some shit, man.
It's crazy. I love.
What's his name? His name is Morrowind?
Morrowind.
Morrowind.
Morrowind the Mage.
Or Oblivion. Or Skyrim.
Good one.
Yeah,
Good
one.
I went there.
Good one. Good one.
Anyway, yeah, Qyburn did some weird shit in Old Town. We don't even know the extent to which he did some weird shit, but we know that his chain is gone. And like Tim said,
that can't be good.
He's hoping that maybe Jamie will put in a good word for him, and Tywin would be like, let's forget whatever weird shit he did.
I'm Tywin Lannister. I'll kill your entire family unless you take this guy back as a maester.
So they go and they're with Roose, and then Roose leaves, and Jamie and them like continue on.
Yeah.
So like Roose is out of the picture at this point.
Yeah, and they definitely exchange the like, give my regards to Rob and give my regards to Tywin, which I love because.
Well, Roose is like, hey, like, how about you like let your dad know that I didn't do this to you? Like, we're cool, right?
We're
totally
bros, right?
Cool. All right, cool. And then that's when Jamie says, tell Rob Stark to send my regards to Rob Stark.
Which is like a little quip.
Yeah.
And
because Jamie's just being a smartass, because that's what he does.
Yeah, and he's kind of curious about like the concept of if his hand actually reached Tywin yet, because I think Vargo Hoat sent it on ahead.
Oh, gross! I kind of forgot about that.
And then he's like, my dad's kind of a cold ass dude. I don't think he'll be mad, but he won't be like afraid mad. He'll be like, I want to wipe you off the planet mad.
Yeah. So they split off and they travel like a half day or a day.
Yeah, not too far out.
Not too far, but it's definitely not like super close away from Harrenhal. And Jamie's like, I'm so tired, I'm going to bed without supper.
Which is tough to do.
Guys, you know what happens when you don't eat your din-din before you go to sleep?
Bad dreams,
bad dreams.
Spooky dreams.
And Jamie has the weirdest fucking dream.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the weirdest.
That's a really
actually,
dream.
you know what? It's not the weirdest dream, but it's pretty weird.
It's so weird.
He's like basically like going into the basement to get some cool jams, and all the lights go out, and Cersei and Tywin are down there, and they're like, "Hey, we're gonna leave you down here," and then he's like, "Oh no, there's a monster down here."
And they're like,
"I wish I had a sword," and they're like, "Oh, there is a sword," and he finds a sword, and
Wow.
he starts fighting this thing, and what does Brienne help him in the dream?
Yeah, Brienne shows up. She's totes nude.
She's like, looks how nude I am.
Nude as heck.
She has a yellow bush.
She does have a yellow bush.
Oh, it's also important to note he has a hand in this dream.
And he's like, this feels great. I
hand
love my
Spoiler.
hand.
Spoiler, Jamie wants his hand back.
Yeah,
exactly.
I know that you guys couldn't tell that.
And he has to, like, Cersei and Tywin are like, bye, and they take the light with them, symbolism.
Like, no.
And
doesn't he say something about Brienne looking more comely?
Yes,
I
was gonna say that. Yeah, he specifically talks about like Brienne looks a little better than normal, and doesn't he get a little twitch?
Little twitch.
A little wiener twitch.
Like, doop, doop.
He's had a few weird wiener twitches towards Brienne, and he feels very uncomfortable about. Because normally he only gets wiener twitches for his sister.
Yeah, he's like, gross, that girl isn't my sister. I don't want that.
I don't like it.
That's why Jamie and Brienne are one of the most popular fan fiction couples, other than Sandor Clegane and Sansa Stark.
God, I wish what
right
you just
after
said
that.
wasn't true, but it's 100%.
Man, San fans out there. Respect.
Oh, let me just break off for like 2 seconds to tell you guys.
Small
the thing.
sidebar.
There's a website called The Toast, and I love it. And they've been doing a feature on Fridays called Fem/Fridays.
Ooh.
And very recently, they did a Fem/Friday for Sansa Stark and Brienne. I loved it. It was great. Everyone's 18. They say that. They're like, let's just pretend everyone's of age, okay? Cool. It's very convincing.
Sure.
You should go read it. Look up The Toast,
So you're
Fem/Friday.
saying it's convincing erotica that made you
No,
happy.
it's not erotica. No, the piece is, it's not erotica. They're writing a defense of why that relationship makes sense and is good.
Sexually?
Or just in general.
I don't understand.
It's not actual fan fiction. It's like being like, I think that Brienne and Sansa should be together because of this.
Got it.
Yeah, it's like on a website, like a regular website.
Like a website,
Not
on
a
the
fan,
internet.
not a fan fiction website. They just
I don't
it.
think Sansa would be into that. I don't know why.
Yeah, she likes her pretty
You
You have
princesses.
to read. You read the piece and then you come back to
So
me.
you're saying it's
I can't imagine, considering Sansa's taste in men, that that would make
Sansa
any
is
sense.
kind of into Sandor Clegane a little bit.
what?
Yeah.
When does that?
I mean, she's like afraid of him, but she thinks about him a lot.
I think she thinks sad about him.
Does she?
I don't know.
Why do you have to go to a dirty place all the time, Jennifer?
It's not
You're
dirty!
so gross. Are you being gross right now?
Every time.
This is not dirty.
I wish you would stop being so gross.
Listen, I just want.
Get your mind out of the gutter.
Oh, fine.
Any damn way. I'm sorry for that smut sidebar. We try to keep it
I'm
relatively.
I'm not sorry. I'm
clean.
completely 100% unrepentant.
Yeah.
Way to go, Jennifer.
So Jamie and Ceci Brienne are fighting ghosts, and everyone's basically like, "You're so bad. Why you kill Ares? You're so bad." So it's cool how, Jamie still has crazy guilt of that, and he wakes up, and says, "We gotta go back. We gotta go back."
Yeah. I left my car keys.
I left.
We won't be able to get in the castle unless we go back. So
It's awkward. I need those keys.
They're like, no, we can't go back. And he's like, motherfucking going back.
if we don't go back, I'm gonna tell them that you did this or Bruce did this, and he's gonna be pretty mad at you.
Exactly. He's like, "I'm a lie, and I'm Jamie Lannister." He's like, "Fuck. Okay, you can go."
Nah, shit, he's got me there. He is Jaime Lannister.
So they go back to the Heron's Hall, and they hear quite a commotion and a hubbub, because it turns out Brienne is in a bear pit
With a bear.
with a bear. That's a very important distinction.
She's not just chilling down there. She's fighting a bear.
She's not like, "Guys, we
She's
can't get
still
out."
She's still in that stupid pink dress that
Yeah.
Roosevelt
Yeah.
made her wear, which is just the rudest because Brienne does not like to wear dresses. She hates it, and she's fighting a bear in a pink dress with lace. It's terrible.
She has a tournament sword.
Yeah, but that's the thing,
it's,
because Jamie is like,
which-
why isn't she attacking? What's she
Yeah,
doing?
Jamie's like, use your sword better.
And then he realizes, because it's not sharp. So
I
she
do like,
really can't
and
do anything
Jamie's
with
like, a good swordsman can kill a bear with a sword. Easy. Like, wow. I want to see that happen.
Yeah.
I want to see a
You wanna
man
see-
fight a bear with a sword.
Right.
That's cruel towards
So
bears.
this whole scene is kind of like the opposite of his dream. Like, she's stuck in a place fighting a monster, and he's coming
He
to
has
help
to
her.
save her.
He's like, whoa.
Yeah.
I have green dreams just like the ghost of Highheart. Whoa.
Whoa, we
and
did it.
Jamie does his Jamie thing here, where he just hops on down in the bear pit without actually thinking his plan through very much. And he's like, oh no, I hopped down here. I don't have a hand.
Ah,
This
shit.
isn't
I
bad.
don't have a weapon.
I don't have a weapon. This is a bad decision.
I don't have a hand.
I don't have a sword hand or a sword.
Whoops.
Exactly. But he does find, just like Samson, a jaw in the dirt, and he throws it at the bear, but he misses like 25,000 feet away.
It's like really bad.
He's
He's like,
throwing like left-handed.
damn it,
you
this
know?
is embarrassing.
Grossies. And luckily, can I do a small sidebar? Have you guys seen that GIF from the show where it's like Jamie jumps down in the bear pit, and then it cuts to the Anchorman where they jump into the bear pit? It's
yeah.
so funny.
That's a good one. You got.
That's a
I have not
funny
seen that GIF. I know that scene.
Guys, I love the internet.
Guys, I like when the internet makes funny goofs.
Me too.
I love the net.
I don't, but I agree with you there.
So Jamie jumps down, and luckily the dude that's kind of watching over Jamie was
Ron Burgundy.
Ron Burgundy. It was like, oh, I can't have my dude die, so he puts arrow in the bear.
Is this man's name Steelshanks?
No, I don't think so. It's Sir Watson.
Sir Doctor.
Steelshanks is someone different, I'm pretty sure.
I think that's the guy I don't know. Any damn way. So they shoot the bear to heck, and the bloody mummers are like, no, I love that bear.
They're like, oh, now what do we
You
do?
owe me a bear.
That's my best bear.
And then Brienne's like, why'd you come back? And Jamie's like, I dreamed of you. And yeah.
You know what?
He agrees to like
Without you.
he agrees to pay them like some ransom money for her, and they let her take her.
Yeah.
Like let him take her.
Can we all agree that that line, I dreamed of you, is like the most romantic thing ever? Even
it's-
though they do not love each other at all, it's still, it's like, oh,
Jennifer, hold out hope.
swoon.
Who knows what will happen in season
I
4
swoon.
of Game of Thrones?
I would like to amend this very non-important detail. It is Steelshanks Walton. It is him. He is he.
Nice.
I checked on internet.
Yeah.
Yo,
Tell this to
sometimes
Tim.
It's
Tim,
Steel Shanks in Harry Potter.
Steel? I don't know.
Thinking of
I'm not confident.
Isn't like the
anymore.
cat called something Shanks?
Is it
Crookshanks.
Crookshanks. Guys, we're not allowed to talk about Harry Potter. I know we haven't mentioned this in 2 years,
No, we
but
can't. It's against the law. We're
I
gonna
know
get
that
put-
everyone
People
hates
will make fun of us.
We're gonna get
Yeah.
thrown in a bear pit.
Bro Tim here saying to lift weights and don't read Harry Potter any
Make
damn
sure you do
way.
your deadlifts and don't talk about Harry Potter.
And you know,
Guys.
do you guys want to take a rain donkey over to Catelyn?
Oh my god.
Yeah.
The donkey. It's the saddest donkey. He's so sad.
Look, oh, I'm Eeyore.
Aw.
So they're riding off to the twins to go marry off Catelyn's brother, and Jane Westerling rides out because she wants to go.
It's
They
like
have to tell her,
it's really
like,
embarrassing.
no, you're gonna die at the red wedding. You need to go back.
yeah.
And then the dozen luckiest guards ever
Like,
take her back.
yay!
We
Take
did
her
it.
back to
I
River
didn't
Run.
die.
Yeah. But like it's funny because like so Rob goes to leave, she kisses him, whatever, and she like rides out a little more and kisses him again. And then she comes like a third time and he's
Yeah.
like, okay, no, but seriously, you need to stop this.
Bitch, go back to
Enough.
castle!
This is really embarrassing. Like I know we're like 16 years old,
Shit.
but my whole army's watching us right now.
Do you think
so
they
we gotta
made
go.
they made Bum Bum together to try to make
Yeah.
Babu?
On this
I
part where
think-
they're like riding out there.
like right in front of everyone?
Like, sorry guys,
Uh,
Greywind, stand next to us because you're a giant
You're
dog.
giant. Gross. It was great. Did Greywind ever watch them do it?
You know he did.
Because you know animals
Yeah.
like to do
You
that,
know-
like weirdos.
He's like, mm-hmm, yeah.
Have you seen that picture on Reddit that it shows you how tall Ghost is by the 5th book? That's the only spoiler, is that how big the dire wolves
Fucking
are.
giant.
They're so huge.
It's fucking giant. It's
He's-
not okay.
He's like, he's tall. He's a tall. He's a tall.
He's like you know, an XLT size shirt. at that
yes.
point.
He shops at Big Dog.
Oh, is that what that brand's
Oh my
for?
God.
Big
Why does that
Doge.
make me laugh? I'm angry at myself for laughing at that big dog
Yes.
joke.
Yes.
Throw me in the garbage. I deserve to live in the garbage for laughing at this big dog joke.
Oh yeah, we're also
Oh.
theoretically a comedy podcast that talks about.
We got all your big dog jokes right here.
Listen.
Man, I don't think I've ever known anybody who owns Big Dog. I've seen people. with Big
Dude,
Dog.
there's this
I've
guy
heard tell.
again. Another small sidebar. There's a guy from our college that only wore Big Dog shirts.
I forgot about
Because
that.
he was a big.
He was really.
He was a big
he
dog.
Big dog.
Big dog.
There's other brands. I don't know. Is Big Dog seen as a douchey brand?
Not
No,
douchey.
not
It's just
douchey.
weird and
No,
stupid.
no, not douchey.
I don't judge you.
If you are listening to us and you're wearing a big dog shirt right now, I love you.
I'm sorry that
Let's
I
hang
said
out.
it was weird. I love you.
I love you.
I
Clothes
just
are
feel
weird.
like
Clothes are
it's
weird.
like
You're right.
they're weird patterns, right? Like I feel like it's like beer shirts.
It's like a picture
They
of a
literally
dog.
have dogs on them.
It's a picture of a dog wearing
like
like
drinking
Right.
beer and
corduroys,
stuff,
being like, "Get off my land," or
Yeah.
flying an airplane saying, "These colors don't run."
like look at this cool cartoon dog.
Yeah.
Has there ever been a
This conversation reminds me of the time when Rob and Catelyn were trying to get to the twins and it was
Oh.
raining really hard.
Yeah.
And
Oh, yeah.
the roads were real bad and
Because
the bridges were all washed out.
It's
and
like
stuff.
really frustrating.
And basically they're gonna be late, and you know the Freys are not gonna be happy
They're
about it. And there's like,
prickly.
He's
oh,
a
we'll
prickly
just
pair.
apologize for that too.
It's like, what's another 29th?
Yeah,
Put
well,
it on our
apology.
tab.
Who
Yeah.
gives a shit? It's fine.
So yeah, like one of their scouts comes back. I'm like, yeah, the bridge is gone. Like, what about the other bridge? That bridge is way gone. Crazy. Gone.
Yeah, that bridge was gone before this one.
Yeah. So like, Christ. Now we have to go somewhere else. Can you just imagine being one of the foot soldiers being like, I've been walking for 2-3 weeks
Sounds so bad.
in the rain, barely like, ugh. I
don't
hate
think
it.
I could do it.
I
I'd be
wouldn't do
like,
it.
I'm on dessert now. I'm gonna leave. Bye.
And plus all like the camp followers and stuff like that, just like walking through the muck. And
Yeah,
whenever
ugh.
their wagons broke, they were like, all right, bye wagon. You guys, you carry this wagon stuff. It's like, gosh.
Oh, that sounds so bad.
Yeah.
Darn.
It's so hard for the small folks.
Yeah, it's bad to be a small folk in Westeros.
Yes.
As you've said about 100 times.
So they get to Old Stones.
Yeah.
This is just a little pepper of
little color.
a little color for
Yeah.
history. It's old as shit, and I think the whole reason that it's spoken of is to kind of tell a story of a dude that won like 99 battles, but eventually won, and he kind of accidentally had a bad son, and the son sort of crumbled down his entire empire.
Yeah,
That
and
he
he
built
talks
up.
about how it doesn't matter. Like he won the 99 battles, but he lost the last one, which was the important one.
Remember that, guys?
Because he died.
Remember that.
And then this is where Rob is getting kind of stressed. He's talking about how Jane is not preggo, despite how many times they bone.
They boned.
And he's worried because, you know, at this point, as far as he knows, Bran and Rickon are dead.
Right.
And Arya's missing, and Sansa is married to a Lannister. So he's like, I've got to get my wife pregnant.
Yeah.
Super
And
pregnant.
he totally thinks Arya is dead. He assumes she's
They
dead.
all assume Arya's dead, because then why wouldn't they? Like, there's been no mention of her in a really long time.
Right. And he's essentially like, listen, I'm a king, man. I'm losing the war. I'm going to go ahead and name Jon as my successor in case anything
Yeah.
happens.
Catelyn
Hey,
freaks
Catelyn is-
out.
Yeah, she is not happy about that.
Again, Catelyn holds the most grudge, and
She's kind of a jerk.
she sometimes can be a jerk, and she hates Jon Snow like a lot. So she's super not into that, and she brings up the whole Blackfire thing, and like, do you not remember what happened when the Targaryens let one of the bastards be an heir? It
Right.
really screwed everything up.
Because
for
as
the
we
rest
all
of the
know,
Targaryens.
Aegon the Fourth had hella bastards, and then as a douchebag move, he legitimized all of them, and so
Yeah.
that
It's that's like really different than legitimizing one bastard. Legitimizing every bastard,
like I like
Yeah.
all of them.
chaos.
Yeah, so that's
Yeah, we
where
gotta
he-
figure out how old, like who's the oldest, like who has rights.
Yeah, and there's like
Okay.
stuff about like, oh, this guy has a sword, therefore he's in charge. Like, or this guy has a sword, so he's in charge.
Oh yeah.
Or this guy stabbed him and took the sword. Now he's in charge.
Yeah.
Luckily, this guy drank wildfire to try to turn into a dragon, and now he did.
He's dead.
Yeah, but I mean, and the whole thing is like, this is, you think Robert's Rebellion and the War of Five Kings is bad? Whew! Blackfire Rebellion and all the stuff
Much
that came
worse.
from that, so
Much
bad.
worse.
Yeah, that's like where it spawned horrific stuff, and then it spawned the War of like 10 penny or 9 penny kings,
Yeah.
all that stuff. So it's just like 50 years, 100 years of strife, and all because of some bastards. But Catelyn hates Jon,
Hates him.
hates him.
But Rob's
much.
like, Mom, I'm a king. I do not care. Jon is gonna be my successor right now.
I'm a
Sorry.
king. I'm not bastardist like you are, Mom.
Yeah,
Mom. Stop being
Mom.
so bastardist,
So
Mom.
behind the times and rude.
He needs to cut out Sansa too, because if she's the successor, then
It goes to
yeah, it goes to the
Tyrion.
Lannisters.
Exactly. This they need a male heir that's one alive.
yeah.
And I mean,
So can he legitimize like a bastard that isn't his?
Yeah.
I think it would
Because
cause
his
more-
dad is
He's
dead.
king. He
Yeah,
can do whatever the
he's-
fuck he wants.
I think it'd be a situation where he could nominate a tree, and they'd be like, okay. But then after he's gone, they'd be like, the tree can't. He has no real claim to this.
And then the tree is just like smacks him, and he's like,
What?
"Oh
I'm a
shit!"
tree that can talk. But
But he can definitely name his own heir. I mean, that's for sure.
Yeah.
right, but I just think it gets prickly in that situation. Like the advisors afterwards, it could cause people to revolt, and they would have a cause if there's a better heir. Like you could,
Right.
because the people kind of like that weird shit. So that's one reason why they want to keep Sansa Stark alive and kicking, because she can bring back old school folks.
Yeah.
So
Anyway, Rob was like, "Fuck off, Mom. Jon's my successor." Sorry. The end. And next, they find out some interesting information. These ones get to find out that Balon, not only is Balon Greyjoy dead, but also Euron Greyjoy is back.
right, they have news from a merchantman who was locked, or like, what's the word
What is
where
it?
you have to stay someplace, embargoed? I don't know.
He's
Embattled?
no. Why can't I think of a word where you're stuck in a place?
Yeah, but he's stuck. He was stuck
What?
at
Hold on.
Oh, stuck.
stuck.
No!
He was stuck in Pike forever, and all of a sudden, turns out Balon Greyjoy just like falls off a bridge, and then the next day,
Very unceremonious death.
right, the next day, Euron Greyjoy is back. I don't know if they've explained much about him.
I don't think they said enough. But listen, if you want to know about Euron Greyjoy, just go look him up on Wikivas and Fire.
Oh my god.
Euron Greyjoy's picture on there is the best
Don't
thing.
read anything.
Don't read anything, but just go look at his picture.
The best
It's really good.
universally accepted picture of a character is Euron Greyjoy.
Well, but what about Jingle Bell, though? His is
Jingle Bell's the best.
Jingle Bell is really good, too.
But-
Yeah, Jingle Bell is
They
great.
pick the sexiest, like,
You can see
most erotic.
the top of... You can see his dick neck.
his dick neck.
Just about.
He looks so good. But yeah, just Google Euron Greyjoy. Don't read anything about him.
Just look at his sexy abs.
And then look up Butterbumps.
And then look at Butterbumps, too. He's also great.
Yeah, I'm sure he's good too. And the whole thing there, yet again, it's kind of a weird situation where it's like, hey, maybe in case you didn't see it the first time, Balin's dead. Balon's dead.
He is super dead.
Yeah, that wasn't just a dream.
Yeah, exactly. And they're like, this is tight as hell for me. This is good for my brand.
Great. One king down. Several more to go.
Yeah. And what Rob wants to do is become a master of figuring out how to get Moat Cailin back, which is like almost impossible to get.
Because everyone's like, dude, no one's taking Moat Cailin.
He's like from the south.
Yeah, his plans are basically to travel through the marsh and get a guide from the reeds.
Yeah, because he's bros with Howland Reed, who lives in the...
Right, so...
Wait, what's that area called?
Greywater Watch.
Greywater Watch.
The swamp.
And he's Lord of the Swamp, so he's gonna... So Rob sends a crew that direction with the Great John?
With Mage Mormont and Glover.
That's right, yes.
And they're like, bro... totally. Greywater Watch moves, and no one knows how to get through the neck anyways.
And Rob's like, don't worry about it.
They'll find you.
Howland Reed and my dad were super bros. Put my banner out, and they'll come and help you.
Right, and as we all know, Howland Reed is the only person currently alive that was at the Tower of Joy.
Yes.
So that has tons of implications for John's parentage.
He knows some shit.
He knows a lot of shit.
Yeah.
And he's the only one.
And they talk about how there's possibility that the Chronogmen have magic.
They got something. Well, I mean, think about Mira and Jojen. Like,
well, Jojen definitely
creepy
does,
Jojen, he's got magic.
Yeah,
and they know magic.
It's a great plan, and reading this chapter is really sad because, like, oh, none of this is gonna come true.
Work.
Yeah, because like a lot of the Ironborn will be like, I'm gonna peace out. I gotta go make sure I can become king or something. So it's not gonna be as hard. So it makes me sad, but I think everything's gonna be okay.
Yeah.
So this episode's going real long. Samwell 3.
Yeah, this is definitely a lot of shit's happening.
A lot, yeah. This isn't a very involved set of chapters. This is.
Yeah, Samwell. She's with Gilly.
He's with
Gilly. He's
Gilly.
he's with Gilly. They've been traveling, and they get to a village, and Sam on the way up was making maps for the Night's Watch, and he's he's really hoping that this village they got to is White Tree because it has a white tree at it.
A werewood.
Yeah, a
We
werewood.
all do.
Yeah.
Because there's like a million werewolves up there.
That's the thing. So they find the werewood, and he's like, "Oh, I think this is White Tree, or what's White Tree's heartwood bigger? I don't know."
I should have been paying attention.
Yeah.
And if he's not in White Tree, he's like, I'm crazy lost.
But if it is White Tree, he knows where he's at.
Yeah.
So they go inside of this like longhouse type thing to take shelter because it is cold as shit outside. They build Gilly builds a fire because Samwell's not very good at building fires.
Yeah, Sam sees some boob. It's cool.
But it's breastfeeding boobs. So
Breastfeeding.
So it's okay.
Sam sings a song. It's cool. Then they go to sleep. But Samuel is a token by just the most chilliest of Chilly Willy spook scare.
Yeah, the fire's like all burned down and it is extra super cold.
You know what that means?
Yeah.
White Walkers.
White Walkers. Yeah, he wakes up and he's like, he doesn't know if he's dreaming or not, and he sees like a shadow moving, like a giant shadow in the corner. And he's like, "Oh, I'm dreaming. You can wake up now.
You can wake up
You
any
can
old
wake
time.
up now."
no.
And it's fucking Small Paul.
Small
the guy
Paul
that
came back.
He's
saved
not even
his
small
ass.
at all.
That's the thing. Small Paul is not small.
He's actually quite
ironic.
large. Because he carried
kind-
Sam.
I'm kind of happy for him because he finally got his crow buddy.
Exactly.
Oh, he always did
Oh,
want that
yeah.
The crow's
I mean,
chilling
the
in his face.
crow is eating his face,
Yeah.
but you know,
He doesn't seem
Yeah,
to be
he
bothered
got his
by
crow
it.
buddy.
You know?
Crows show love in a weird way.
They show love
It's-
by eating your face.
it's all he wanted though. He just wanted that crow, and he got it.
It's the only
for you,
happy
Small
ending for a
Paul.
character. Is the Small Paul arc. So he walks
Wow.
over, and Sam's
I-
trying to reason with him. It's like, hey man, just chillax.
And Small Paul's like, I got my bird, I don't give a shit now.
He's like, I'm a white, I'm gonna kill you.
Yeah.
And it's like, you
I'm
talk.
done.
Yeah.
And Sam runs up to stab him with the dragon glass, and he's wearing armor, so
It
breaks.
it just fucking shatters.
And Tower of the Hand purports that it didn't work. Like, even if it got in a little bit, it
wouldn't
didn't
have worked.
immediately kill
So
him
why?
the same way it would kill an other.
That's
How
what I
can
want to know
you
why.
do that, though? It totally shattered.
Because they're zombies.
Well, maybe
like,
because they're different. Because like the others and the White Walkers are different things.
yeah, the White Walkers are like reanimated corpses.
Right. So you have to
I
use
would
fire
argue
for
you
the White
can't.
Walkers.
You can't. This is not definitive. I mean,
That's
I
what.
would
Yeah,
say-
this is what I'm thinking.
I agree. I
yeah,
agree.
it's not definitive. I'm
on
just
Cast,
conjecturing.
if we stayed on Cast of Thrones, that's it. George R. R. Martin listens to us.
He does. He does
Exactly.
what we say.
So, hey,
So he's gonna definitely.
if you
the
see a
winds of-
white out there, hack at his skin, see what happens. That being said, you should be ready with that fire post
Yeah,
haste.
you gotta try both.
Just do the fire.
Those are the only things we know work
Go
right now. Is a dragon glass and a fire. Those things have worked on
Yeah, but we don't know
them.
if they work for both. Or
exactly.
either.
It
You've
doesn't work
gotta-
here.
you've got to like cram the flaming log like right in the white's mouth.
Yeah,
Mhm.
we
He's
know
gotta
for
get it right.
sure. Throw it.
That will work.
Put the ember down his dang gullet.
And then he burns to death.
Which is what Sam does after he throws himself on him. Which again, just remember, Small Paul is huge, big dude.
Yeah.
But Sam weighs more than him.
Sam is so fat.
Yeah. If you count on Sam is fat,
He's a fat man.
the book will tell you about 500 times that Sam is fat in
He's
case
like
you forgot.
grossly fat.
But
So
but
yeah,
hey, it helped him out here.
yeah, he kind of like wiggles and falls on top of upon Small
He
Paul.
uses his center of gravity and pushes him over, and it
Yep.
sets him on fire.
Yeah, sets him on fire.
Right.
And then
He basically makes him into a jack-o'-lantern.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
does. He shoves it in his mouth, and it eventually goes up. Gilly's outside at this point, I think. They run out, and they're basically surrounded.
By whites, like a million of them.
It's like, oh no, and a
The
lot of them are
Julian.
the Black brothers. So we get an update on who's dead. So
Yeah.
we got like Chet.
His boil's all black.
I mean, Chet's the
gross.
only interesting one in there.
I'm glad they updated us on Chet's boil.
Right.
I was really wondering what
I
was
wasn't
going on
sure
with
if
that.
Chet was still hanging out at Craster's
He got that
Keep.
checked out or not?
Yeah, he's dead.
Cancerous.
dead.
and
So wait. Okay, so the last we see, do we remember what happens to Chet when everything goes crazy? Like, does this mean that the White Walkers descended upon Craster's Keep?
Oh.
I think so.
Yeah, I think,
for
yeah.
sure.
Because I think that he
I
was
know.
there last time we saw him,
That
right?
makes me sad.
Craster is
And
dead.
they talked about it like, oh, it's getting real cold.
Yep. It's like, yeah, they're coming eventually. Let's get out
Oh
of here.
shit! I had not even thought about that.
I know, guys. That's why you listen to Cast of Thrones to
And
get
listen
those,
to Tim.
those moments. Of
Do you
like,
think you think the others just like have a like an affinity for like the like Craster gives up the boys to them or whatever all the time, and he's a male, and the others seem to leave him alone. Do you think like all the Night's Watch and the men there, that's why they were coming after him?
Huh?
Do you think that's the
They
thing?
have a taste for man flesh.
well, Gil.
It doesn't seem like there's a lot of women White Walkers.
Igri
Hmm.
makes a point of essentially saying how difficult the sort of journey has been for the wildlings and what they have done. I forget her exact words, but she implies that they awoke something or they did something bad in the Frostfang Mountains, which
Yeah.
I kind of think that maybe they stirred up some White Walker shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why there's so many of them now.
Right. So maybe Craster was never very like, the White Walker tax was like one baby like a year, and then eventually like hell to the no, now we're gonna destroy everybody unless you give us 50 babies a year.
And
So maybe
he's
that's
like,
why
I can't
they
keep up with all these babies.
can't keep up.
So things are not looking good for Sam and Gilly because there are hella whites.
Yes.
But there's also a lot of ravens.
Oh.
And they start to attack the whites, which, distracts them for a second.
They're eating their faces and stuff.
And then a strange man rises
Guys.
on a fucking giant
Guys.
elk.
What?
Are you? We're not gonna say the guy's name because they don't say it for a while.
What?
But so this fellow is riding a 6 foot tall elk.
Not like it's on its back feet and it's 6 feet tall, but like its shoulder is 6 feet. That is no. Did it say? I thought it said 10 feet.
10 feet?
I'm pretty sure it did because
It's definitely moose size at
I
least.
think they said like 20 feet.
20 feet.
No, but
20 goddamn feet.
I'll check because I
It's
really
like a dire elk.
Yeah, it's huge. And there's a dude on it that's clothed in like blacks and other stuff. Like
He looks
Yeah,
like a
he's
member
wearing-
of the Night's Watch.
Yeah, it looks like a Night's Watch guy. He's got these cool black gloves. Oh my god, those aren't gloves.
Those aren't
his
gloves.
hands.
There's hands.
So
They're all black and they're very cold.
And this is the #1 character that Tim wants to see in next season of the show.
Has he been cast?
I think so. The person that they said.
You think so?
Yeah. There's a person that they said everyone thought was going to be the steer, the Magnar of Finn. In fact, fuck y'all. I made a joke about him being cast, and then like that's obviously steer, the Magnar of Finn. And then they cast Steer, the Magnar of Finn, like a month ago. And I was running around the apartment dancing because sometimes Game of Thrones fans can be really mean.
Listen, you sound really angry right now.
I just wish they were nicer to me. I made a joke.
So Sam and Gilly and Bebe, unnamed Bebe, ride off on this giant
On an
elk.
elk.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like not even concerned about everyone fitting on there because it's a giant elk.
With this dude and his weird black cold hands.
And they had to tell you it's a big old elk because else how would you know that Sam could get on it? Because it's Game of Thrones and it'd been like, Sam is fat.
Is so fat.
Sam
Sam
is
is
so
fat.
fat. So fat. He killed this horse.
He killed the horse.
By sitting
Probably
on
killed
his
the
butt.
horse. Sam was like, I probably killed that horse.
Yeah.
I feel
But he didn't
bad.
because it's a giant
Move
elk.
out for the whole.
My corpulence.
Guys, let's talk about the last chapter for this week.
Yeah, one more chapter, you guys. Arya 9. Let's do this.
Yeah, let's finish strong. This is a boring-ish chapter.
Just a little. Yeah.
This is one of those where like I see why they cut this from the show.
Because not super important. Basically, remember when the Hound grabbed Arya? She's still with him.
Sometimes when I read The Storm of Swords, I think, you know what this book needs more of? It needs more rain. It needs more river crossings.
We gotta cross every river there is.
Yeah, but this
There's
is
a lot of them.
This scene is straight taken out of the last level. Sorry, spoilers of Oregon Trail, where you have to ford a river up on your stuff.
Yeah.
Or else you crash. So yeah, they get to a river. They get to a town. The town's completely flooded.
Yeah.
And it's like, how are we gonna do this? Oh, there's a ferryman. That's good.
Sweet. We're gonna cross on this ferry, and the dudes are like, "You gotta give us money because this is a really bad river here." And Hound's like, "I will."
Over there, Knight's Honor.
Knight's Honor.
It is like,
Guys.
Arya's like, what the fuck? He isn't even a knight. He hates knights.
Why would he say that?
And-
Oh, it's because he's lying.
whoa, spoiler. They get across. A man falls off. Arya's like, I might throw myself in.
Why was she ever thinking that? What a dumb thing to think.
Well, she's
Arya-
trying to get away.
Crazy.
So
At this
crazy.
point, she thinks she's going back to King's Landing.
Right.
That's true. Yeah, she doesn't. She's like no idea where she is. I forgot about that.
Arya, you silly goose.
Well, because she keeps trying to escape. Like, at one point, I think the first thing that happens is, like, she's going to hit him with a rock.
Yeah.
And
He's like,
just like
I'm
in the
away.
show.
Yeah.
He's like,
And then from that point on, he, like, swaddles her in a, like, sleeping bag and then, like, ties her up. So she has to,
Why
like,
does she have to
sleep
pee in the
like a
middle of the
mummy.
night?
she'd have to pee on herself. It's constantly raining, so it's, you know.
Oh, it'd be so hard.
You,
Can
you
you
don't know.
tell?
How, if you're camping outside in the rain, how do you know when you're peeing?
You can't. There's literally no way to know.
There's no way to
There's
tell.
No way to
Yeah, it's impossible.
Scientifically impossible. So they get across. There's cute scenes where he's like, "I'll give you this one. Don't try to kill me again." And then eventually he lets her in on the fact that, hey, I'm not bringing you back to King's Landing.
Yeah. And she's like,
I was
what?
like- He's like, they took my money, they took my gold, and you're worth a ransom, so you're like the next best thing.
Yeah.
So
Like, we just crossed the Trident. This is the Blackwater, you dummy.
But it is really
But-
interesting, like reading. Like he's trying to save. Or I mean, like obviously he wants the money too, but like I feel like there's some tenderness.
Well, he says,
or some niceness.
yeah, he tells her, like, I was nice to your sister. I saved
Yeah.
your sister's
Right.
life, or whatever.
It's like he's trying to prove himself to her. Like I'm not as bad of a guy as you're making
And
me
he
out
He's
to
like,
be.
yeah, there are
despite
way
the
worse
murder.
dudes than me.
Yeah, and he even goes to say, like, your brother should really take me in his service.
Yeah,
Mhm.
like it'd be great for him if he took me in, because I mean, like he's a smart guy and he's good at fighting. Number one,
Right.
and also he
He's
used to be
super good at
philanderers, and
fighting.
he does not work for them anymore, and he knows a lot of their shit. So really, it would have been smart if Rob hadn't gone and died.
Right. And he gives the boatmans an IOU, just like Dondarrion gave
Yeah.
to him.
for
Kinda
10
shitty.
whole
It's
dragons.
like, I want the rest. Don't take it all. I'll hurt you. And, yeah, that's the end of both this chapter and our book club section of this episode.
Guys, I'm so proud of us.
Thank you.
Yeah, we did it. That was a long episode.
It was really.
And we still have to do spoilers.
We still do spoilers and reviews.
Whoa! Guys, as you can assume, there's a lot of Game of Thrones podcasts. So we're so thankful that you took the time out of your busy schedule of the rain and crossing rivers to go ahead and leave us a review upon iTunes.com. The Real Big Tink says, informative and fun. These folks know a lot about the ins and outs of a Song of Ice and Fire series. Especially Jennifer, but especially Jennifer. Which hurts my feelings because I know more than Jennifer.
Tim probably does actually know more than me about it because Tim likes to read all the Reddits about
And
it.
Jennifer just Jennifer does most of the show notes, so she remembers everything better.
Jennifer, thank you so much for doing the show notes.
Yeah.
You know who did most of the show notes today though? That would be Tim. Tim did,
Oh, wow.
Tim did
Thanks,
the great.
Tim.
Tim did the majority
That
of
doing
this
the
time.
show notes is a lot of work.
It takes a
Me
lot
and
of time.
Thrifty did them the last 2 episodes. It was hard.
It is a lot of work, but I actually really enjoy doing them. So
So
That's good.
it's fun.
yeah.
Because
Tyler
fun.
Durden Soap from the United States says, testing my patience. He says nice things there. And he says, I started listening to the podcast less than a year ago, and I must admit I was a bit disappointed there has been no mention of Jar Jar Martin's first draft that included Hodor's mute girlfriend, Hodora. I was about to unsubscribe, but dang it, I got hooked after just a few episodes, and have been listening with a sly fervish until I caught up recently, when I became worried again. If you guys finish the entire storm of cats and dogs of swords, what will you guys do next year? House lineages, I hope. Either way, keep it up and say hi to Girl. She is my favorite. P.S. As Thrifty and Mark McKinney of Kids in the Hall know, it may be spelled Daryl, but it's pronounced Daryl. Not sure if anyone caught that. Maybe not even Thrifty.
I don't
I do
understand
not
that joke.
remember.
Daryl.
I do not remember what
I
that is
think-
referring to.
I
do.
think we argued about pronunciation at some point.
I'm sure we have. I remember next to nothing that we say on these shows.
That is true. It comes out of my mouth, and then I hear
It's
it
gone, it's gone.
tomorrow when I'm editing the show, and I'm like,
Did I say that?
oh, why did I say that?
But like
I don't
someone
wanna
will
listen
tweet
to
at
this.
me a thing, and I'm like, I don't remember
yeah,
anything.
and
I do love the Kids Hall though, so it was probably on purpose.
Yeah.
Guys, I love Kids in the Hall too, you know?
Oh wow, you're cool comedy guys.
Girl Drink Drunk, that's a great sketch.
Oh my god!
Oh, that's
I
a
love the girl
great
drink
sketch.
drunk.
I don't know
Why
about
don't
this.
next week? We're just
It
gonna
was
do
Citizen
that.
Kane. Citizen Kane.
I don't
That was a
understand.
good one.
Guys, these jokes.
All right, so for those of you both listening now and listening into the live chat room on twitch.com/geeklyinc, we'll sign
Wait.
off.
Before we sign off, go to geeklyinc.com/store and buy a sweet ass Dire Donkey hoodie. Holy shit!
You need it.
You remember those shirts that we released a million years ago? Well, now we have them again in hoodies and blankets, more colors.
Tank tops,
Colors.
cool shit. You
Yeah.
want that.
You know.
I
I'll
need
get
another
those.
one.
Go snap those up.
Yeah, and you know, some podcasts don't let you know, but we get some of this money, so it helps us keep going strong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To get
And
all
our
the fees.
guy has been sending them out like instantly.
Yes.
So
So
good at it.
So
Unlike
good at it.
us when we had to do it.
we
Oh,
are
we're
not
so
good
bad
at
at
it. We
it.
admit that.
We were really bad.
Gosh.
It's true.
But we have to
Anyway.
say thank you to everyone that's already gotten them. Yada yada yada. You guys are the best.
And definitely tweet those pictures at us because we will love to retweet them and favorite them and hug them.
And you guys are really good
Yeah.
looking too. So.
And that's at Castle
Really,
Thrones.
kind of are.
So good looking. Yeah.
Yeah,
At
tweet
Cast of Thrones or at Geekly Inc.
Yeah. Or at Thrifty Nerd. I mean, that'd be fine too.
Or at me at R Bristow.
Yeah, if you want to tweet at me, Tim Lanning, just do that probably.
And you can talk to me, Jennifer Cheek.
Yeah. And
Cheek, like C-H-E-E-K.
Cool.
So we'll have a
Cool,
bit
cool,
of
cool.
something, and then it'll be spoiler zone where we spoil everything
playing
that's
right-
been published.
Like anything. Anything is fair game.
Not the Wins a Winner preview
Well, not that,
chapters,
because
though.
I haven't read that.
I have.
All right. Say the last thing.
Keep riding that donkey.
Yeah.
You didn't.
It's time for spoilers. All right, guys, I just went to my fridge to grab some milk, and Nick, you won't believe it.
What?
It's spoiled.
Oh my god.
Oh shit.
Oh no.
Oh no. So
This milk is rotten.
I think it was a
Oh, and okay, that's it. He already said it. We can turn this off.
no.
We're done.
No.
You ended it.
I
It's
thought
over.
we could do a fun thing where we intro did. Yeah, okay.
Nope.
I fudged
Ending
up.
it right now. We gotta get going.
So yeah, basically it's the prophecy from the ghost of Highheart, where a wolf. Well, no, that I don't care about that. A maid at the feast with purple serpents in her hair. The same maid
What's
slaying
that
a
about?
giant in a castle built of snow.
Guys, it's Sansa.
What?
It's Sansa.
Sansa.
It's Sansa Stark.
Sansa Stark.
Purple stuff in her
She's
hair.
got a hairnet.
Oh, right. The purple poison shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
That's
Who's
given
she
to
gonna
her
kill?
by the Queen of Thorns.
yeah. So the Queen of
Yeah.
Thorns makes a big point of making sure that
I got you this pretty
Sansa
hairnet.
wears this hairnet, and most people believe that it's the Tyrells that kill Joffrey.
Yeah. It's
by-
obviously not Tyrion. We know it's not Tyrion. And that's you know who's it, but who would do it? Who would do it?
Yeah,
other
and they
than
make it sound
Tyrells?
like
And Joffrey's an ass, and they know that. Like they know it's like. I mean, I guess Marjorie could handle him, but I could see the Tyrells being like,
You know what? All that shit is this book.
yeah. There's a lot of shit that happens in.
That's
But
so weird.
who's she gonna kill in the Castle of Snow?
Oh, she doesn't actually. So when she,
there's actually two prevailing theories about this.
So one is that when Sansa goes to the Vale, and it's snowing, and little Robert, the 6-year-old boob sucker, Sansa builds a snow castle, and then he comes through and stomps
I forgot
it.
about that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
remember when she goes into Sandcastle Fugue or a Snowcastle Fugue, and she like designs all of Winterfell,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and basically she pushes Robin over, and that's one way. So because sometimes I think it's what was it Thoros or Melisandre said, where the dreams it was someone says it. Basically, the visions are always correct, but sometimes I misinterpret them.
That's Melisandre says that. Like sometimes what she sees is right, but she doesn't always understand what it is and what it
Right,
means.
Right.
And so some people think that she just sees this. Now, the other thing that's crazy is that people think that this means that Sansa Stark, this is crackpot theory, Sansa Stark is going to be the downfall of Peter Baelish, a.k.a. Littlefinger.
I would
bet
shit out of
money
that.
on that. I would bet serious money on that.
Yeah.
Because, essentially, the main reason is that Peter Baelish's family comes from, I believe, Bravos, and their original house sort of thing was a giant. So it's like his banner sigil is a giant, and she slays the giant, whatever. So that's an idea, and it's fucking snow
Yeah.
in the Vale. So they think
It
that's
makes
also-
sense
It makes a
because
lot of
like, one,
sense.
he has that weird crush on her because
Yeah,
he's
he's
trying to
super
replace
creepy.
Catelyn or whatever. Like it makes sense that she would be his downfall because she is his weakness.
Yes,
Also-
and they're in the Winter Palace of
Right.
the Vale.
And
of
also
Arya.
Sansa, like by the end, like the last time we see Sansa in the books, like she's getting much smarter. Like she's starting to actually play the game herself.
Yeah, is she in Dance with
Of
Dragons?
Thrones.
I don't think so.
God, I hate he did that.
I know, but she's in A Feast for Crows. That's where you can
Yeah.
see that she's learning. She's like, okay, like I understand this now. I had to play this game, which is funny because Peter Baelish is teaching her how to do it. But I think I hope that she turns it on his ass.
Exactly.
He's bad.
I think it's interesting that the show didn't choose to keep the Titan's bastard alive so that he could come and try to kill Dany.
They'll just make it be some other person. I
Or
don't know.
maybe nothing at all.
Or maybe they won't do that.
I don't know, I think
they
just-
need some plot lines for Dany.
Exactly, they
Because,
need
like, what's she
some-
going to be doing for the next million seasons? I don't know what.
And the people think that Summerhall is where... Because Rhaegar Targaryen is obsessed with prophecy.
Yeah.
That's why he...
There's the sword fight and stuff.
Exactly, because there's
And
like...
why he's very obsessed with the dragon has 3 heads. The dragon has 3 heads.
Yeah, he was supposed to be the one that like reunited the Force, and they think that maybe people before him blew up Summerhall the same way that the Doom of Valyria happened, by trying to summon a dragon. Maybe they're not sure actually how the Doom of Valyria. They think they're probably connected.
But we do know like some shitty shit happened at Summerhall, and it's vaguely referenced. And where is it talked about? It's not talked about in the Duncan Egg specifically.
Right, they kind of mention it.
So
but
where are we getting the information from?
I don't remember, but it's one of those things where I think it's where Duncan Egg mentions how there were tons of dragons eggs at Summerhall. I think.
So the wiki of Ice and Fire said it was destroyed in a great fire.
Yeah, that's true. It happens after Duncan Egg, because Duncan Aegon's son does it. It's Duncan the Small, which is the Prince of Dragonflies, which is the prince that married Ginny of Old Stones.
There's a lot of weird stuff.
A lot
with
of weird
Summerhall
connections in this chunk.
that I don't really understand. That we don't understand yet. That it's not fully connected.
Yeah, and the dragon, his name's Duncan the Dragonfly, because he was. They think that he was a little person, just like Tyrion, which is why people think that Tyrion is
actually
Targaryen.
Yeah.
So
Oh.
all of this
That
crazy
he may be
stuff.
Ares.
Yeah, because
Ares
Ares,
is obsessed with Tyrion's mom.
and which is why Tywin is like the only surviving hand, pre, and Jon Connington.
Also, possibly why Tywin hates Tyrion so much.
I love this section of our podcast because it's basically Tim and Jennifer explain Game of Thrones to me.
Whoa!
And
I like to.
What? Tell us more.
I like to
Just
read
keep
weird
going.
shit on the
this is
internet.
crazy.
Yeah, so that's all the fun stuff with that, but it's the fun prophecies that go without all of it. And we also learn in this chunk yet again, Blackfires, dog. Don't forget about the
Yeah,
Blackfires.
don't forget it. It's
They're a big
important.
thing. Why would they keep mentioning Blackfires if Aegon's not a Blackfire? Ah.
I would be so happy.
That's all I
if he
say.
was.
But
I guess I think that's it.
Yeah,
right?
I
I'm
guess enough
tapped.
spoilers for
I'm
this time.
tapped.
This milk is rotten.
Okay, I'm gonna shut the stream down for a second.
Should we export?
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably.